You ever have one of those days where you just feel off? Or maybe you feel amazing for no particular reason? Well, what if I told you that beneath everything you consciously think and do, your body is running on a kind of autopilot, a default setting that dictates your mood, your energy, and how you handle pretty much everything life throws at you? This is your hidden baseline, and today we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret systems that are really running the show.
So take a look at this. This is a high-stakes moment. Everything is dialed up to 11. What do you think separates a calm, effective response from a disastrous one? It's not just about what you know or how you've trained. A huge part of it comes down to an invisible, internal state, that hidden baseline we're talking about. It's the thing that lets one person stay cool as a cucumber while another completely unravels. So, what is this thing really? Okay, here it is. Your baseline system is basically your body's default mode. Think of it like the operating system running in the background of your computer. It's managing 3 critical networks all the time: your nervous system, your hormonal system, and even your physical structural system. This baseline is what determines your resilience, your general mood, and how much stress you can actually handle, long before your conscious brain even gets the memo. So let's break down each of these layers. First up, let's talk about the nervous system. Deep inside all of us, there's this constant background hum, a kind of frequency that sets the stage for whether we feel calm and collected or anxious and on edge. And it's all managed by one incredible nerve that acts as your body's master regulator. This hum is what's known as vagal tone. It's the baseline level of activity in your vagus nerve. Now, this nerve is the superhighway for your rest and digest system, the part that calms you down. So if you have a high, healthy vagal tone, it means your body is really good at hitting the brakes and relaxing after something stressful happens. It's like having a steady hand at the wheel of your own biology. And this is not just some feel-good idea, it's backed by science. Researchers can actually measure your baseline vagal tone and use it as a real, tangible signal of your mental health. It's directly tied to how well you regulate your emotions. It just goes to show you, this invisible internal state has a very real, very measurable impact on how you experience the world. Okay, so let's move on to the next layer, the hormonal system. If your nervous system is the body's electrical wiring, then your hormonal system is the chemical messenger service. And its baseline determines if you're living in a state of calm readiness or if you're stuck with the fire alarm blaring 24/7. You know this feeling? It's 3 a.m., you're wide awake, your heart is kind of thumping, and you're just buzzing with this vague anxiety for absolutely no reason. Well, that's not just a bad dream. That is your hormonal baseline screaming at you. What's happening is your main stress hormone cortisol is spiking at the wrong time, essentially shocking your system into high alert when it should be asleep. This is all controlled by something called the HPA axis. It's your body's core stress circuit. Here's how it's supposed to work. Your brain, the hypothalamus, senses a threat. That triggers a signal cascade that ends with your adrenal glands releasing cortisol. That's the go signal. But here's the crucial part. Cortisol is also supposed to send a message back to the brain saying, okay, we're good, you can calm down now. That's the negative feedback loop. When that loop breaks, the alarm gets stuck in the on position. And this chart, wow, this really shows you what happens when that system shifts. On the left, you have a dysregulated survival state, and on the right, a healthy, steady state. Just look at the difference. In survival mode, you've got cortisol spiking at night, your blood sugar is all over the place, and your brain is basically fragile and easily triggered. But in a regulated state, cortisol tapers off like it's supposed to, your energy is stable, and your brain is literally buffered against stress. It's a night and day difference.
All right, we've talked nervous system, we've talked hormones, but there's a third, physical baseline that literally shapes how you move through the world, the actual architecture of your body.
So we used to think of our skeleton as just a stack of bones, right? Kind of like a Jenga tower, where everything is held up by compression. But a much newer, and frankly cooler model called biotensegrity totally flips that idea on its head. It suggests our bones don't actually crush each other. Instead, they float inside this amazing, continuous web of tension created by our muscles and our fascia. So stability doesn't come from stacking blocks, it comes from balanced tension throughout the entire web.
And get this principle doesn't just apply to your big bones. It goes all the way down to the cellular level. Our entire body is this incredible hierarchy of interconnected tensional structures. So your structural baseline, that's the default pattern of tension you're holding in this web, and it affects everything from your posture to how well you resist injury.
Okay, so we've got these 3 major baselines, nervous, hormonal, and structural, all humming along in the background. But knowing they exist is one thing. The big question is, are we stuck with them? And the answer is a resounding no. These are not fixed settings. You can actively recalibrate them. You can literally learn to tune your own internal systems. And this is what tuning your system looks like in the real world. We're looking at actual heart rate data from a police officer during a super high-stress training drill. Let's walk through what's happening here, because it's pretty amazing.
So look at point C. Before the main event, the officer uses a specific breathing technique to bring their heart rate down to get into their optimal zone. Then at D, the threat appears, and boom, heart rate spikes. That's a good thing. It's a necessary response. But here's the magic. Look at F. The threat is gone, and they use that same technique to bring their system right back to baseline, super fast. This proves the stress itself isn't the problem. It's how quickly you can recover. And recovery, that's a trainable skill.
So what's this miracle technique? It's called a reset breath, and it is ridiculously simple. You take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for just a second, and then a long, slow, controlled exhale through pursed lips, almost like you're breathing out through a tiny straw.
That one single breath does so much. The long exhale directly stimulates your vagus nerve, telling your nervous system to shift out of fight or flight. That action starts to calm down that hormonal HPA axis we talked about. It can even release some of that stored tension in your physical structure. It's a direct, powerful intervention that speaks to all three layers of your baseline at once.
So here's the bottom line. Your body's default settings, your mood, your resilience, your ability to perform under pressure, they are not set in stone, not even close. They're dynamic systems that you can absolutely learn to influence. The tools, as you just saw, are often simpler than you'd ever imagine. So the real question isn't if your baseline can be changed, it's what are you going to do to start tuning it?